Fan Podcast, episode 96. Before I forget this, like, follow, subscribe. I forgot it the last couple of them. But we are almost up to 8,000 subscribers. I think we started this year with like 22 or 1,700. I can't remember, but great growth we've had the last 4 months. The Bears being good for 2 months really helped us, or have us a promise. But again, keep commenting, keep liking, please. Help us in the algorithm. Tell your friends if they're tired of listening to the Cap and J Hood and Sylvie. Oh, I know whatever gets tired of listening to Waddle and Sylvie, but tune in. Bears lose to the Lions 34-17. An embarrassing showing. Looks better on paper than it was. If you guys watched it like we did, you know that. Once again, the Bears are stagnant in the first half. For the life of me, I don't understand why we can't move the ball until we're down 2.5 scores. And the hater in me says it's just garbage time, but obviously it's not all the way garbage time. They're not in prevent, but it just seems like we cannot get it going until we're losing.
Yeah, the scheme doesn't seem like it's there. I don't know if the offensive coaches exactly know what they're doing. Taking Thomas Brown out of the box, keeping him off the offensive coordinator shit, really putting him on the field to where he's got to oversee the entire operation, kind of stall the offense out as well. I don't want to say that's all the way yet because I mean this has been an issue all season. It's not just a
Thomas
Thomas
Brown thing
Brown
has been,
thing.
yeah.
But he did say he was part of the problem as well when he, first took over. Um, it's just frustrating to see, and I don't know where this rhetoric is that, Caleb's a bust or Caleb's this, Caleb's that, because, the kid's got 3,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and like an 88, QBR. Um, those are pretty damn good numbers. I mean, he's in the top half. He's in the top 15 as a rookie in passing yards and touchdowns. Why are we talking about him like he's Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf? It's crazy to me the hate that he gets. A lot of it has to come, a lot of it has to do with the fact that he came around with this generational tag, which isn't his fault.
I think it's that, the Justin, it's a lot of stuff. And I will say I'm personally guilty of it a little bit. Not in exact words, I'm not necessarily say he's a bust, but I do when I'm talking about him. And I've been trying to make a point not to because honestly, looking at the numbers, I am impressed. He's having a great season for any quarterback, let alone a rookie. Um, but my only quandary is, and it's a lot to put on a rookie, is just like you're when you're him, all that shit, all the excuses go away. Like Tom Brady, all these guys. So again, I'm not going to go that far ahead, but he's playing good, and I'm going to do my best to stop talking in the negative light. Was Team Justin. There is no more Team Justin. He's on the Steelers, but I just thought there was a fork in the road. He went right. I thought he should have went left. But Caleb has been pretty good. I would just want to know what's the block in the first quarter.
Yeah,
What is that going? Like that is what I don't understand because we could be in a lot of these games, and my frustration is the Vikings are better. Sure, the Vikings have upgraded a lot this year, but we played the Lions twice last year. Like, and the first game was close, but I mean, we had to come back in the end. But like, we played them really tight last year, and they were at full strength, and it was the same exact team.
yeah, but I mean, it's a different year, different schemes. It seems like
I don't think. I think maybe we have a difference. You think the Lions? I'm saying I don't think the Lions have a different scheme.
No,
Like,
but you're right. We have the exact same scheme pretty much that we defensive wise at least that we had last year. And when you have an elite play caller like Ben Johnson who studies the defense like he does, he finds holes. And let's be honest, the defense since the fail Mary, the defense has been 30th, 31st in the entire league in every defensive metric you can possibly that's out there. The defense is it's absolutely horrible. We spoke on this, there's no pass rush. Tremaine Edmonds is an overpaid guy who doesn't seem to like contact. I mean, I don't understand your 6'5", 250 middle linebacker and you don't like contact. Jalen Johnson got his money and he's
it's been
mid.
okay.
Yeah, he's been mid. He
Yeah.
hasn't been an elite level corner like he was last year. A lot of it has to do with not having a pass rush as well. Pass rush is a defensive back's best friend. Having Jaquan Brisker out since London doesn't help things when you got backup safeties who just let people go over the top of them.
Kyler Gordon's been hurt. I
I
mean, a
know
lot of things been going on, but
this
that, I
team
mean,
lost its physicality, dude. The
yes,
defense lost its physicality. They don't they want to go on vacation. They're
that was
checked out. They're done.
my fear is like we've lost again. I'm coming over to Caleb. I think he's good, and I hope we get the right coach to make this work. But I think they rattled the locker room when they switched things up. I think we don't have, and I think last year, sure, Justin's a running quarterback, but at least we had an identity. And I think paired with our defense, we could make things work. We could play good teams close because we ran the ball, controlled the clock. Our defense knew that, so we kind of played hand in hand. Now it's just like our defense is not good, and we can't hold on to the ball in the first half, and that's not a good combination.
Well,
So it
no,
just
and I sent you
leads
that
to
metric
more.
earlier. I sent you that what was it yesterday? I sent you that text message that I saw on X where somebody had posted that DeAndre Swift is the first running back in National Football League history to have like a negative net contact yards, which is because he doesn't like to run in between the tackles. He's not a north and south runner. He tries to
Again,
bounce.
yeah.
He tries to bounce everything, and that's that offensive linemen don't like blocking for guys like that because it makes them it reflects poorly on the offensive line, and that's another bad Ryan Poles signing. I was somewhat looking forward to it because I thought maybe they'd be able to do like a 1-2 punch. I didn't expect DeAndre Swift to be like a lead back.
Yes, they just
Um,
got rid of Herbert. Like, I don't understand what Khalil Herbert did where he was in the like he always stepped up for us when somebody got hurt. For what, 3 years in a row. He played good. He had good yards per carry. He ran between the tackles. He could take it outside. He just wasn't a premier number one back. He was a nice change of pace. He was a good backup. And we ran him out of town. We ran David Montgomery out of town where Roshan got a concussion. But even before then, we're not giving him the ball. And it's just like all like I don't it's just all bad. Like it's hard because obviously we do the podcast and things like that, but I don't want to sound. I try not to be like because I know these offensive coordinators, these guys obviously are smart guys, and I guess on paper know more than me. But this is fucking 101 shit, and it's like again, back then people thought I was just being a hater because I was mad about polls, but I didn't like a lot of these fucking signings. I didn't like the Swift signing. We were fucking watching Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, all having fucking borderline fucking MVP seasons, and we could have had them. I'm like maybe like I don't know. We could at least made a push. Swift like we got to exhaust all options. Saquon thought the Bears were going to try and get him. The Giants GM thought Saquon was going to the Bears. Did we even fucking try and get Josh Jacobs? Did we even attempt to give Derrick Henry a little bit of extra money? Like if you're going to go out and get a running back, go get a fucking running back. But it's like he's continuously shopping in the B section, the clearance, or I don't know about clearance, but like the bargain bin. And it's like, this is my quandary with Roquan. Yes, he has his qualms. He gets beat up in the pass game, but again, this goes back when I'm talking about identity. In the run game, he's sticking his nose in there, and he was all over the place getting tackles. And maybe he would have been a little bit overpaid, of sure. But for what you got two guys, I like TJ Edwards. He's a hometown kid. He's worth the money, but it's like you got Traymon Edwards, paid him a little bit less, thinking, oh, I got this hybrid guy. And like you said, he don't like the contact. That's not Chicago Bears football, and he's not worth it. And it's, like I said, I just all these things are compiling, and it's like I don't know how Poles keeps his job because who's he going to blame it on now? They blamed it on fucking Getsy and Justin Fields last year. Like, and I guess they fired Eberflus and going to try, but like I don't think you can blame it on Eberflus. The team played better under Eberflus. He was a fucking knucklehead that didn't know what he was fucking doing at the end of the game, but at least the team played better. The defense is most certainly. And now we're just out there doing nothing. And he makes another mistake by promoting Thomas Brown. Like you said, we should have left Thomas Brown up in the fucking booth because that was our only chance of having a little bit of fucking continuity. Like, let's say we miss out on Ben Johnson, we could fine. We'll bring Thomas Brown back. We'll get a defensive coach. At least Caleb doesn't get another new OC, and they could have built some chemistry. But now it's like he's the interim head coach who fucking sucks, so we can't keep him. So it's like we're gonna have a whole new thing, and it's like honestly, if we're gonna get all new, everybody Poles, get the fuck out of here too. Why are we gonna give him a fucking third chance? the fuck up. That's what we did with Eberflus, and it blew up in our fucking face. So that's what I'm thinking of. Like, we were pounding on the table. If we're not going to keep Justin, get rid of Eberflus, because why give the guy a third chance to fuck our season off? Like, Justin wasn't perfect, but he did a bunch of bonehead shit last year. We could have won 9 games, maybe 10, and made the playoffs last year, with similar circumstances this year. Not the Hail Mary, but we had to drop Hail Mary. Like, and there was other. We were beating the fucking Lions, and he fucking fucked up, and he like gave up a two. We beat the Lions once, and we gave up a fucking 2-score lead in the fourth quarter to lose to them the second time. And we were beating the Broncos by 3 scores, and we lost to them. It's like, but again, and then we give him another chance, and he literally does the same exact thing the next year. And it's like, are we going to give Poles a chance to do the same exact thing and fuck this offseason up and not get a premier offensive lineman? It's like, is there any? If we win another game, we're not even going to get one in the draft. Like, we got to hope we're like 7, 8, 9, 10 again, and hopefully one of those guys are there. And I don't know if any of those guys are plug in, solve all our problem guys either. I think last year there was a couple guys, Fashano, fucking all obviously wasn't gonna fall to us. I'm trying to think of the other guy, but there's a couple guys, and like we missed our beat. And
Yeah, and realistically too, it's you're probably from all the reports that are out there right now too, they're not too keen on extending Tevin because he can't stay healthy. So you're looking at 4 offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? That you're because Braxton Jones, he's serviceable, but he's not an answer. He's not strong enough. You maybe kick him down to guard.
that's what I would have guessed.
Maybe he's
Yes,
too big to play guard. I don't know. But you have Pryor playing guard right now. I
yeah.
mean,
I don't
what's
think
the
he's a
worst that
terrible
could
offensive
happen?
lineman. I just think that he against the premier at the ends, he doesn't stand a chance.
No, you need a bookend left
Yeah,
tackle, but you know what I'm saying? You're looking at least 3 offensive linemen that you need. You need a new center, you need a new right guard, and you need a new left tackle. You need to upgrade at left tackle. You want to move Braxton down to a guard spot, that's fine. But 3, maybe 4 offensive linemen you're going to need in the offseason. You need an edge rush opposite Montez Sweat. You're probably because, like I was saying, with a new coach, you're looking at new personnel, especially with the defense. So this is kind of like what happened with when Vic Fangio took over and we transitioned to the 3-4 defense as opposed to the 4-3. Not saying necessarily that that's going to happen, but
there will
maybe you
be
get it.
some personnel
Yeah,
changes, so we're gonna have
there
to
will
do
be some
something.
personnel changes. Edmonds
Might be
might be
another tight
gone.
end. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gerald Everett should be gone. Edmonds should be gone because Edmonds just, like I said, it doesn't seem like he wants to play. He signed a 5-year, $80 million contract or whatever it was because it was like 15 or 16 a year, and it just, I don't know, man. It just seems like it's one of those things where you look at the offseason needs and you're like, where did it all go wrong? Right? We sat here and we hyped up, we were hyped up, not necessarily us hyping it up. Yeah, we did a little bit, because we got on the gravy train, so to speak, but um this team just has a whole bunch of holes in it, man. A whole bunch of holes. The players that we expected to take that next step regressed. And it's very, very disheartening. Very disheartening because there's a lot more to it that, it's gonna suck. If this doesn't get fixed, we're gonna be stuck in a position to where, it's just that same revolving cycle. And I don't I, it's hard to talk about because it's so boring right
Yeah.
now because it's the same shit every week. We get our shit pushed in. We're playing from behind. There's no excitement. You know what I'm saying? Like
Caleb has
I
given
said
us a
last
little to look forward to, and I'm like I said, I'm trying to
for the
stop being
future
such
wise, yeah.
stop
But
being
it's
a
just
negative Nancy, because at the end of the day, I'm a football player, so I want to win. So I've never been super impressed by the stats anyway, but it's hard to deny how decent he's been. Like, he has, obviously he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. Obviously he's not going to the Pro Bowl, but kid doesn't throw interceptions. He's got nice zip on the ball. He's pushed the ball a little bit more for downfield these last few games, which we like to see. Still not very accurate with the ball, which is a little concerning. But um, he threw the ball a couple times away this time, but I don't like his pocket presence. But these things will grow. But there are things to look up forward to. So it's hard. Like you said, it's hard to talk about because honestly, this is more times than ever. And I know football is one of the only sports where the coach really does matter, but we have to get the right coach because if we don't, we're fucked. And it's like, even if we get a decent coach, my worry is like we get Ben Johnson, we're gonna still maybe we still suck again next year, but the offense is okay. Like I don't want like we were supposed to take the North and never give it back, and it's like, what are we in year fucking 5 and we're still in the rebuild? Like I don't want to do that. Like I want to be a serious football team, and we were the team as a whole, and not Caleb. Take him out of the equation. As a whole, has regressed. Like we were 2 steps away last year. Now it feels like we're 20. Like, and we were thinking that Caleb could be the to come in and solve that problem, but the, I don't know. Maybe if we would have kept Getsy and got rid of Justin, I think maybe I don't know what it is. Like, ugh. But you sent me a couple names today. Pete Carroll. I was reading something that you said Pete Carroll was interested in, then didn't. I think Adam Schefter came out and said that it wasn't true. John Gruden, I know, threw his hat in the ring, made it known that I don't know if he's ever going to get back in the NFL. I don't see why not. I think the people in the NFL love him, maybe not like Goodell and those guys in the suits, but I think coaches and announcers and analysts, they all like him. Real football fans like him because he's a football guy. Not to say he's going to get the job. Vrabel, Ben Johnson, obviously, and hopefully, I'm assuming we're going to be picking from Vrabel, Ben Johnson, or like I don't know if Carroll's got coming in, but I don't really see
Yeah, I
who
mean,
else.
they should at least talk to
Joe
Pete Carroll,
Brady.
pick his brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I sent you the thing earlier too, where it is expected that Ben Johnson does interview with the Bears, and he said he would not take any interviews that he wasn't expecting a job offer or he wouldn't take the job for. He's not going to chase interviews, and it's been widely reported that he wants the Bears job because he is infatuated with Caleb Williams. And for good reason. Caleb's got a good, a good ceiling on him. He's very talented. He's one of those guys that a lot of offensive coaches, not just offensive coaches, but coaches in general, would love to have and start a franchise with. So Ben Johnson's probably at the top of the list, especially after the showing that he put on. I mean that put it this so that play design, the fake stumble by Jared Goff and the fall down by Jahmyr Gibbs, that was a designed play to throw a ball to Sam Laporta because Ben Johnson saw on tape what happens when the Packers actually did stumble. Jordan Love stumbled, getting out from under center and made a big play out of it. He saw that on film that the linebackers
Did he
crept
say
in,
that?
that the what
Did Ben Johnson say that?
the offense, the Detroit Lions offense, Jared Goff said it.
Oh, okay.
Said that they watched film, they saw what happened when it happened against the Packers. So Ben Johnson decided to create a play based on that, and that's what happened. And it was absolutely perfect. It was just as much of a showing for Ben Johnson to the Bears as it was for Caleb Williams to show Ben Johnson what he could do. And Caleb again put out one of his best games of the season against Detroit. I mean, granted, Detroit's got 90% of their starting defense
I
on
was just gonna
IR,
say they're missing like 7 guys, I think 6 guys or something like
but
that.
well, no, they got 20 total defensive players on injured reserve.
Oh shit, I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but either way, they play with heart because they're coached well, so they played hard. Offensive line was a little better. We still can't fucking run the ball. Um, and it's just goes back to what we were talking about before. That polls we were blind. I don't know if we in general, but as a whole, we were blinded by all his offseason moves. But he didn't like he went out and got stuff we didn't need. Like we didn't need a running. If like honestly, if we would have went into this year with Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson, I wouldn't have. We talked about. It, I wouldn't have been that mad. Like I think those 2 guys would have been a decent 1-2 punch. Obviously, not going to be the best in the league, but I think we could have been fine with them. He went out and paid Swift, and he's. I think everybody who watched Herbert play, I think he's for on our team with our O line worse than Herbert. He's not like I think if Herbert would have played all year, got the same amount of touches as Swift, he would have done better. I truly believe that. Same with Roshan. I don't know about Roshan in total, but because we haven't seen him really get that bulk of the carries before. But I think we had a decent 1-2 punch. Swift, like you said, historically bad at running back this year. Obviously, we can't block, but it's just a lot. And these last 2 games are gonna be hard to watch. I'm looking at the line. I can't believe the Bears are 3-point dog in this game. Like, I don't know how they're 3-point dogs in any game. Like
Yeah,
outside of one of the top three teams. Like,
you can't break DeAndre Swift can't break tackles. You blow on him and he falls down. It's embarrassing the kind of effort. I'm not gonna call out a guy on effort because he does play hard.
yeah,
He
that's
does.
just not the type of back he is.
No, it's not. And you're right. I mean, I'm expecting you said they're a 3-point dog, 3-point home dog against Seattle tomorrow night. I don't see
Us, no. They were only.
I
I'm surprised. I didn't bet it, but when we were only 6-point dogs against the Lions, um, and I don't know why I didn't bet that because I knew that we were just gonna get shit on. Everybody knew it. But yeah, this has been an interesting experiment. It feels like that what ownership and the front office is doing to us. And I don't know how this team bounces back next year. At this point, I honestly think we need an experienced coach because it's going to be a tough task for a new guy to come in and completely just bounce the culture around in his first attempt. But we'll see. I mean, we just have to be optimistic. Hope Caleb keeps doing what he's doing. He has slowly grown on me, and like I said, taking my feelings out of it and trying to forget the ass kickings we're taking on a weekly basis. If you look at his numbers, they're incredible for a rookie. I will say that the lack of interceptions under pressure. Obviously, there's things I can nitpick on, and that's why we made this show so we could give our nitpicky, unbiased or our biased, we'll say, opinion. But he has been pretty good, and if we could get some competent coaching and throw those same stats on the team next year, we should like if we would have had what he's doing this year last year, we would have made the playoffs for sure, based on our
yeah.
record. And that's not a knock against Justin. I like Justin, but he turned the ball over a little bit more. Um, he couldn't attack down the field, and although we could run the ball, there were certain games where teams weren't having it, so we needed to do that. Um, and again, there's different weapons now and stuff like that. Keenan Allen is finally playing a little bit better, but we're in a trick bag. It's like we suck. Are we going to pay Keenan Allen now? Like we got so many. It's like I don't know what we're going to do. It'd be hard to lose him because it seems like that's the guy Caleb's really starting to bond with. Him and Odunze got a little bit of thing going on, but I think you can really see it with Keenan Allen that him and Keenan are kind of on the same page. Odunze is looking better. They're getting him more involved, which they should be. He fumbled twice in the game, which is god all that cannot happen.
No.
It just really can't. And he's a rookie, so I guess we have to give him a pass, but it just can't happen. Like we're too bad to be fumbling the ball. And this is all coaching stuff, like 2 fumbles. We had like 10 penalties. We can't get any third downs. On top of our defense being bad, it's just a recipe for disaster. And a lot of that is coaching stuff and scheme stuff that I'm not going to continuously put on the players. Um, man, man, oh man.
It's frustrating.
Yes.
It's
And this will be another
disgusting.
frustrating one. And it's hard. It's like, do we want them to win? It's how it's like it's hard to even watch the game because like I want the team to do good, but it's like a win fucks us over, and I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
were expecting to get ready for a playoff push
Game or at least
at this
these
time.
games being like Matt, like oh, if we I mean, honestly like I wanted to make the playoffs, but let's say this year we fell one game short again. I think I would have been okay with that. Like I probably not. I don't know, maybe because it would probably been Eberflus and he might not have got fired, um, I could have lived with that. Now it's just like and we felt so close last year. And I can admit, Caleb is better than Justin, and we're fucking like 10 steps behind where we were last year. It feels like we have no obviously it's coaching, but we have no culture, no continuity. These guys aren't playing hard, and I don't know if Justin inspired that or Eberflus inspired it or whatever it was, or if it was energy or what. But the vibes just aren't there in the Bears locker room. DJ Moore's, I mean, talking about vacation. DJ Moore's having his worst season ever. It's just like guys are taking penalties. Edmonds is soft. Guys are making business decisions, and Sweat's non-existent. Like we just really just out of this season was a big fu to the fans. It felt like to me and to Caleb Williams. And it's like if I'm Ben Johnson in my right mind, why would I even want to be on this fucking team?
He wants it. He wants the job.
I like if I'm him, I only want the job if Poles is gone. Because and that's who I want to blame on this because they blamed it on Justin and Getsy.
And that
So
that
now
very
you
well
take some
that
fucking
very well
accountability.
could happen
Yeah,
because
like
like I was saying, he wants the timeline and he wants ownership to man up to their previous mistakes and what he plans to fix it. Like I said, Detroit has Ray Agnew, who has a relationship with Kevin Warren, and if they decide to bring Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson's like, I don't want Ryan Poles, I want Agnew. That way that I
Who's
think
going to
Kevin Warren.
interview? That's well, it have to be before. I guess they would have to like whisper it because obviously wouldn't Poles interview Ben Johnson?
Yeah,
So Poles would have to get fired like right when the year ends, basically. Can't you? Because can't you interview coordinators like Super Bowl week or the week before that or something?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
The week
mean,
before.
Poles getting fired has got to be soon. I don't. I just don't see it. I think somebody's head's got to roll for this season. Last year I didn't think really anybody's head's got to roll except for Getsy. I thought. Um, but this year somebody's head's got to roll, and I think they tried to do it with Eberflus, but he shouldn't have been there in the first place. And it's like to blame all this on him, I don't think is fair. Yes, he fucked over a couple games, but let's say we fucking won all those games, we still wouldn't be in the fucking playoffs. So this season, like we just weren't good enough from the jump. But enough with the shitty Bears. I guess really not much going on. Bedard got moved to wing a couple weeks ago. We're seeing there's a lot of stuff going on with him. He seems like he's regressed. I don't know if the league's picked up on him, but I've been watching a little bit. I used to be a big avid hockey fan when the Hawks were rolling. Now I'm just older. I got too many kids to be watching 10 sports all day and keeping up with it. But we'll see. Hopefully that's a good change for Bedard. The Bulls seem to be they're going to be moving Lonzo or Levine or Vujic. Two of the three I'm hearing are probably going to be out of here.
I'm hoping all
Um,
three.
yes, I'm hoping so too. Again, the Bulls don't know how to tank right. They beat the fucking
They beat the
uh,
Celtics.
they
They
beat the
beat.
Celtics. Then what was it 2 days ago? I get an alert. Dame Lillard and Giannis aren't fucking playing tonight against the Bulls. I run to my phone to check the line. Bulls -1.5. I'm like, oh, they're definitely gonna fucking win. No Giannis, no Dame Lillard. Put 100 on it, and they get shit on by fucking 30. It's like this team is like I don't know. The Bulls are I guess as dysfunctional as the fucking Bears, but we're just so fucking disconnected from that. That's been like 10 years now. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they're not tanking good enough, and I think there's a couple good guys in this draft that might necessarily be able to turn the franchise around. Or like Cooper Flag, I'm starting not to think he's generational, but I do think he's like a nice all-star caliber guy who will grow into that and be just fine. Um, but yeah, not not much after that. Um, we'll tune in the Bears game and we'll be back next week to give you our depressing report on how Geno Smith fucking tore us apart and how Caleb couldn't throw touchdown passes until we're down by 17 points. But thanks for tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. I'll see you
We'll
soon.
see you next week.
Adios.